It began like any other Tuesday, a humdrum march of emails, coffee stains, and unpaid loans until the internet, no, the entire world, collapsed into a stunned, jaw-dropped silence as MrBeast appeared on a live stream, standing in front of a gigantic, swirling, absolutely massive black hole suspended in a massive clear dome in the middle of the Nevada desert, his signature grin broadening as he shouted, "Today I'm using a black hole to erase student debt, live." And at that exact moment, across the country in a dingy apartment lit by a single sad bulb, Ava Santos, a philosophy graduate drowning in $180,000 of loans, choked on her instant noodles, grabbed her laptop, and stared at the stream with eyes as wide as saucers and a mind spinning faster than the collapsing matter in the background of the broadcast, her heart pounding as a tidal wave of hope and absurdity smashed into her all at once. Could this be real, or was this some sort of elaborate, universe-bending prank? Next to her, Dex, her perpetually high-strung roommate who majored in quantum theology and collected tin foil for emergency headgear, screamed, "We're all going to die in content." While frantically trying to unplug everything in the room, outside, cars skidded to halts, strangers embraced, and news drones zoomed overhead like metallic locusts, the sky itself feeling tense, almost curious, as if the universe was leaning in to see what MrBeast would do next. Ava's emotions ping-ponged between hope, panic, and a strange sense of existential awe as the live chat exploded with emojis, student loan balances, and caps lock pleas for salvation, and in that storm of chaos her personality, normally reserved, cynical, bookish, started to crack open with a rush of uncharacteristic courage as she said, "To hell with it," grabbed her backpack, and bolted out the door to find a way to get to the desert, Dex stumbling behind her in flip-flops and an aluminum foil crown, because if the world was going to spaghettify into the unknown, they were damn well going to be there for it. As they dashed through a world turning upside down, electronic billboards updating with "Black Hole Debt Giveaway" in real time, helicopters filled with influencers heading west, people dancing in the streets as their loan balances magically dropped. They became part of something so absurd, so monumental, that neither of them could tell if this was salvation or an apocalypse disguised as a sponsored video. And yet, underneath the carnival of celebration, questions lurked. Where did he get the black hole? What was the cost of feeding it debt? Was there a limit? And why, in the midst of it all, did MrBeast's smile sometimes twitch like he knew something no one else did? But for now, none of that mattered, because the journey had begun, the stakes were unfathomable, and the world was racing toward a destiny shaped by algorithms, cosmic physics, and one man's unholy obsession with giving away everything for views. As the initial euphoria of witnessing MrBeast's cosmic giveaway began to fade, Ava and Dex found themselves at a crossroads where disbelief clashed with a raw, unrelenting need to understand the impossible reality unfolding before them, their minds spinning with questions that felt as dense and tangled as the gravitational pull of the black hole itself. Ava, driven by a fierce combination of desperation and intellectual curiosity, insisted they track down the source of the black hole, where it had come from, how it was being controlled, and what unseen consequences might ripple through the fabric of reality with every debt it devoured, while Dex, oscillating between paranoid genius and frantic skeptic, was obsessed with the idea that the black hole was less a benevolent cosmic eraser and more a ticking time bomb wired to something far more sinister and incomprehensible, whispering dark theories about energy conservation, quantum paradoxes, and the very nature of existence that made Ava's skin crawl, yet compelled her to dive deeper. Their first hurdle came swiftly, a chaotic, government-enforced quarantine zone erected around the desert site, replete with armed agents and enigmatic scientists sporting unreadable expressions, creating a tangible wall between them and the swirling vortex of financial freedom, forcing the duo to navigate not only physical barricades but also the growing paranoia simmering beneath the surface as rumors flew of secret corporate interests, shadowy funders, and the inexplicable disappearance of key figures who had spoken out against the project. Amidst this tension, they crossed paths with Dr. Lila Nguyen, a brilliant yet embittered astrophysicist who had once consulted on the black hole's containment technology but had since gone rogue, warning Ava and Dex of the catastrophic risks involved in harnessing such a force. Her icy demeanor tempered only by a fierce resolve to prevent humanity's recklessness from spelling its own doom. Together, the unlikely trio embarked on a labyrinthine quest to peel back the layers of the black hole's mystery, facing psychological torment as Ava wrestled with the ethical implications of erasing millions of lives' debts while fearing the loss of identity and responsibility it might engender. Dex spiraled into a vortex of paranoia that strained their friendship to its breaking point, and Lila fought the demons of her past involvement, all while the world outside teetered between celebration and chaos as the black hole's appetite grew, sucking not just debts but glitches in reality itself, causing time distortions, disappearing objects, and strange energy pulses that made the ground tremble beneath their feet. With each new revelation came more questions. Was the black hole a gift, a curse, or something far more alien and unknowable? And as Ava stared into the swirling abyss under the desert sun, she realized this journey was no longer about debt forgiveness but about confronting the fragile line between human hope and cosmic catastrophe, their footsteps echoing in a world where every choice might unravel not just economies, but the very fabric of existence itself. As the desert's sun dipped low, casting long, ominous shadows over the quarantine perimeter that now felt more like a fortress against the unknown, Ava, Dex, and Dr. Lila Nguyen found themselves standing on the razor's edge of the final confrontation, the culmination of months of relentless pursuit, sleepless nights, and heart-wrenching sacrifices swirling through their minds like the very particles sucked into the black hole's merciless vortex. Each of them carried scars, Ava's doubts about playing God with millions of lives, Dex's spiraling paranoia that threatened to fracture their fragile alliance, and Lila's guilt for helping create a force that could unravel reality itself. And yet, they gathered these fractures like armor, steeling their resolve as they meticulously prepared for the showdown that would decide not only their fates but the fate of a world dangling precariously between salvation and oblivion. Physically, they scoured the clandestine research facilities hidden beneath the desert sands, salvaging experimental tech designed to manipulate gravitational fields and quantum entanglement, devices so volatile they could either stabilize the black hole or rip the very space-time fabric apart, while emotionally, they forged an unspoken bond, sharing whispered confessions and quiet moments of vulnerability beneath the vast starry sky. Aware that their unity was the slender thread upon which all hope hung, the antagonist revealed itself not as a single villain, but as a terrifying amalgam of corporate greed, governmental hubris, and an insatiable cosmic anomaly fueled by the dark energy siphoned from human despair. The black hole itself, a ravenous force whose weakness lay in its unstable event horizon, vulnerable to precisely calibrated gravitational pulses but deadly to anyone who dared approach unprotected. A ticking bomb cloaked in the guise of charity, their strategy hinged on Lila's radical theory that by injecting a synthetic quantum resonance into the black hole's core, they could collapse its destructive hunger into a controlled implosion, effectively neutralizing the threat while preserving the miraculous gift it had given millions. Yet this plan was fraught with peril, demanding a perfect synchronization of technology, timing, and human will with no margin for error. As the final moments stretched taut, Ava checked the equipment one last time, her fingers trembling but eyes blazing with determination, while Dex configured the quantum resonance emitters, his breath shallow but steady, and Lila ran through contingencies, ready to sacrifice herself if needed to guide the process from inside the containment dome. The air was heavy with a silence that screamed louder than any noise, the world holding its breath as they made their final, irrevocable decisions, whether to gamble everything on a fragile hope or surrender to the black hole's merciless pull. And in that suspended heartbeat before the storm, each of them confronted the terrifying truth that their actions might rewrite the destiny of humanity forever, a pressure so immense it bent reality itself, setting the stage for a cataclysmic battle where courage, trust, and sacrifice would collide against an unknowable cosmic force, leaving the outcome as uncertain and fragile as the thin line between light and darkness stretching across the desert horizon. The air around the containment dome crackled with a tense, almost electric energy as Ava, Dex, and Lila stepped into the eye of the storm, the swirling black hole at the center of their universe pulsing like a living entity hungry for everything, their hearts pounding in sync with the unpredictable oscillations of space-time itself. The final confrontation was not just a battle of science against cosmic chaos but an emotional crucible that tested every ounce of their resolve, forcing Ava to confront the weight of playing savior to millions whose debts had vanished but whose futures now hung by a fragile thread, Dex grappling with the terrifying possibility that his worst fears, the unraveling of reality, might come true, and Lila wrestling with the knowledge that she had unleashed a force far beyond human control, now forced to risk everything to atone. As they activated the quantum resonance emitters, the black hole roared with a fury that bent the very fabric of existence, tearing at the edges of their equipment and sanity alike, threatening to swallow them whole, and in the chaos, they were forced to make impossible sacrifices. Lila volunteered to enter the containment field, her body becoming a conduit between human will and cosmic destruction, while Ava and Dex fought to stabilize the controls, their minds burning with fear and hope in equal measure. The psychological toll was immense, with moments where despair clawed at their souls as time seemed to warp memories, flickering and reality fracturing. But in the defining instant, as Lila's voice crackled through the comms with a whispered plea for trust, Ava found the strength to override the failing systems, channeling every ounce of courage into a last, desperate surge of quantum energy that collapsed the black hole into a stable microsingularity, neutralizing its ravenous hunger without obliterating the debt forgiveness it had granted the world. The aftermath was a hush, a fragile peace settling over the desert as emergency crews moved in and news spread like wildfire. Humanity left grappling with the profound implications of what had just occurred, a debt-free world shadowed by the knowledge of the cosmic brink they had skirted. Ava emerged forever changed, her cynicism tempered by the raw power of hope. Dex found a new purpose beyond paranoia in protecting what they had saved, and Lila's sacrifice, her consciousness woven forever into the fabric of the microsingularity, became a haunting testament to the price of human ambition. Their journey transformed them from uncertain bystanders into guardians of a new reality, the world forever altered by their courage and sacrifice. And as the credits rolled on this unimaginable saga, the lingering question remained: what new challenges would arise from a universe now forever marked by the day a black hole erased student debt? If you've been captivated by this cosmic roller coaster, hungry for more mind-bending adventures and stories that push the limits of imagination and heart, don't forget to subscribe, because the universe is vast, the mysteries endless, and the next journey is just a click away.